Is it possible for a doctor to specialize in different medical fields? Neil was a cardiothoracic surgeon who was supposed to specialize in the heart and lungs.
We can manage her kidneys and her lungs. The last stop in multiple organ failure would be her heart.
But it wasn't uncommon for him to give advice on everything from the brain to femur bones and beyond.
Do a CBC, CMP, amylase lipase, CA19-9 levels, and CT abdomen pelvis pancreatic protocol, and do not tell him why.
Sean, on the other hand, had focused on everything from brain surgery to the cosmetic variety. But why do these doctors dabble in everything? In regards to Sean, you could argue that it's because he's a surgical resident, and they always get to assist in a broad range of surgeries. And he's a genius who can spot all kinds of medical issues very quickly.
She has a sarcoma, a malignant tumor.
Malignant? That means it's killing me, right?
Yes.
However, for the most part, The Good Doctor is all about entertainment and drama. That's fiction, and it's always spectacular to see the superhero doctors doing their job. Don't let the lack of realism regarding surgeon roles put you off the show though. While The Good Doctor isn't always 100% medically accurate, it does obey the rules more often than not.
Yes.
But which cases are the most surprisingly accurate, you ask? One of the more seemingly outlandish ones occurred in the Take My Hand episode. In the storyline, Dr. Claire is tasked with treating a patient who's unable to feel pain. It's an unusual case, to say the least, but is it realistic? It turns out that the case was inspired by a rare hereditary disease that does affect people in real life. But every condition that's brought up in the show is based on fact. The show's medical consultants are known for talking to doctors and picking brains about the most unusual cases they've encountered, and many of them inform storylines in the hit medical drama.
Someone here wants to kill me.
The Good Doctor mines ideas from the actual medical world in many ways, but some eagle-eyed fans have raised questions about the Doctor's methods in the past. Do you remember the storyline where Morgan's mother had brain surgery? Talk about some emotionally charged television, and kudos to the cast and crew for handling such a difficult subject with so much care. But did you notice how Morgan's mum still had her hair after the procedure was over? This was after undergoing 2 operations in one day. Was it an oversight on the creator's part?
I don't want to hear it.
Some viewers have argued that it was a mistake, but let's not rush to dismiss all of the possibilities. The episode doesn't make it clear which part of the brain is being operated on. So, it's possible that the surgeons didn't have to shave Morgan's mum's entire head in order to complete the task. But at least she was okay in the end.
I've been emotional.
Speaking of hair, what's the deal with Dr. Melendez's do in the Season 4 premiere? You know, when he returned as a figment of Claire's imagination. Maybe the grief of losing Melendez was messing with Claire's mind and she remembered him differently?
You have an amazing story ahead. I can't wait to see it.
It ain't like Melendez is rocking a mullet or anything, but you can spot the difference between the length in that scene and how it looked in the heartbreaking Season 3 finale.
You are a terrible bowler.
Of course, an even bigger mystery is the whereabouts of Melendez's former fiancée, Jessica Preston. As you'll recall, she disappeared at the end of Season 1 after breaking it off with the surgical start.
I don't want to have kids.
However, the reason for her absence is never quite explained. Well, apart from the fact actress Beau Garrett left the show after the first season. From a story perspective though, Jessica didn't even mention it when she returned for a minute in Season 4. Wasn't anyone curious about what she'd been up to? We can only assume that she couldn't bear to be around her ex anymore and decided to work somewhere else. Speaking of exits, let's talk about Dr. Mateo. After the surgical attending was promoted to series regular in Season 5, many Good Doctor fans felt the character would be around for years to come. Then the character was written out of the show in quite an unceremonious manner after a few episodes, causing much speculation about his future. Mateo even left a note for his main squeeze, Dr. Lim, saying that he'd be back in a few days, but it seems that he's gone for the long haul. Given that his exit was sudden and leaves behind some unresolved issues, it seems inevitable that Mateo will return, right?
We don't need to bare our souls to each other.
Not quite. You see, actor Osvaldo Benavides exited the show for reasons that have yet to be clarified. So we shouldn't get our hopes up about seeing more Dr. Mateo strut his stuff in The Good Doctor anytime soon. But never say never. No one expected Jessica to return, after all. Of course, some of the biggest mysteries in The Good Doctor revolve around the long-term characters. For instance, have you noticed that Sean doesn't like answering questions which he deems pointless? He's quite happy to indulge in basic conversations and answer medical-related queries. Just don't expect him to talk about things outside of his comfort zone.
Not good at communication.
In some cases, however, he's more than happy to answer any old question. That's especially true when it comes to his close friends and colleagues. Why is that? The Good Doctor has been praised for its sensitive portrayal of autism, and Sean's social interactions reflect the reality of some people on the spectrum. Sean finds it difficult to express himself and deal with things, which is why his friends and colleagues have their own approaches for communicating with him.
What else?
I don't know. Neither do you, or Leah, or the doctor, or the doula. That's what's terrifying about it.
Of course, Sean also values honesty and respect, and he gets upset whenever someone treats him badly.
I want to smash your car up.
I think that's a bad idea.
Sean ain't afraid to speak his mind though, which is why he's a big fan favorite. But how have real doctors responded to his antics?
Let me see the other test orders. I'll tell you which one's the most important, and you can do them in that order. I'll be honest and fair.
But here's how this situation would be resolved in an actual hospital.
In complex surgeries like this, we not only have the pathology lab on standby, but you could also even have a pathologist in the room with a microscope ready to make the call immediately.
Sometimes, the doctors in the show are forced to take some big risks to get the job done.
If we remove the left kidney, we might be able to get a good enough view to successfully remove the mass.
Take out a healthy kidney to get a better view. That's insane.
Sure, that makes for some inspirational television, but real doctors probably wouldn't take that chance.
To me, this sounds too risky and too much of like a cowboy move, but then again, I'm not a surgeon nor a surgical oncologist. That's why I would ask someone who's more of a subspecialist, which I don't think any of these people are.
If you like this video, be sure to check out our video on The Good Doctor's bloopers versus their actual scenes.